My name is James Williams Jr. and this is Kung Fu Habit number 2. Now, if you caught up the other video, I said a lot of derivative shit. First, let me apologize to every woman on the planet. I don't go around calling women bitches and whores and sluts because y'all have feelings too, and I was not raised that way. Now, I'm a cusser. You better believe I am a cusser. It ain't got nothing to do with me being in the army. I was cussing long before the army, and I'll be cussing when I'm ashes. But here's the thing. I'm an honest man. And I give y'all all the 99.9, but if you watch the last video, you got the whole 1,000 and you ain't gonna like it. And I don't give a shit. You know why I don't give a shit? Because if that's what it takes to make you women grow up and realize that you have the right to choose who you're going to procreate with. If you're just having sex with somebody and y'all both ain't gonna catch feelings, that's a great thing. Right? Because y'all fuck buddies and you're doing it and there's no babies involved, you're having sex and you're going about your business, amen to you for that. But when you are in a relationship and you had a choice of taking the Ivy League guy who, even though he's not full of money, but he treats you well, he's going to love you until the day he dies, and he's going to do everything he can to try his best to give you the world or die trying, but instead of choosing that guy, you choose the douchebag full of dick tips who talks to you, like I said in the other video, calling you ladies all kinds of bitches and whores and telling you that you smell and all this other shit, trying to get you ran a train on by his buddies. They're injecting you with drugs. They're introducing you to drugs. And if you've never done drugs a day in your life until you met this motherfucker, then that is kind of your fault. I am not essentially trying to be a victim blamer. But I am letting you know that 20% of the choices of women who wind up in domestic violence relationships is because they fell in love with some asshole who played their ass and played the game. And you have to understand, that first 2 years of a relationship is when you know that you need to learn this son of a bitch backwards and forwards. If they are genuinely a good guy, if they will get up and go all the way across town on their feet to buy you a soda at 3 a.m. and tell you that they love you and that you're beautiful and they will be with you for the rest of your natural life, that's the guy you want to keep. Even if that son of a bitch is broke as hell. Especially if he doesn't ever raise his voice at you. He's never raised his hands at you. He's never called you out of your name. He's never disrespected your parents. And he has moved heaven and earth to be with you time and time and time again. That's a man. That's a man. That's a man who wants to be with you. Those are the guys that you should probably pick. But if you're into this bad boy image and you want to date a guy who's surely ready to fucking shoot you or make you get killed by his enemies because his enemies are your enemies and you don't understand the element of danger is an element that can not just be exciting and get your pussy wet, but that fucking shit can kill you. So like I said, a lot of women that get caught up in these domestic violence and abusive relationships is because they chose to be with this motherfucker. Let me tell you something. The first time there's somebody, I'm not going to go by names, in my family that had some domestic violence and abuse, it was going to be the last time. You understand me? They weren't going to put their hands on this person anymore, ever. Because you can't hurt anybody if I break your fucking neck. If I cripple you from the neck down and you'll be drinking and blowing out of a straw for the rest of your life to move your wheelchair around, you're not going to be hurting anybody else. Yes, I'm wrong for mortally wounding a person and crippling them. But am I wrong? If this person puts their hand on my sibling or my friend and that female sibling or friend can't fight back, but I can fight. Because I've been doing it since I was 6 years old. Learning Kung Fu didn't make me less dangerous, it made me more dangerous. Going to the army didn't make me less dangerous, it made me fucking lethal. So, in that, if I'm wrong, and that man that I respect in that video that I reposted about him beating the guy to death for beating up his daughter, hey, you know what? Keep your fucking hands off of girls. You a man. Be a man. A man should only fight when necessary. He should never fight a woman unless it's in a Hollywood script. Because in a Hollywood script, movies are entertainment, and it is fake. And a man should never put his hands on a woman under any circumstances unless she's one of those crazy women who decide to pick up a knife, a brick, a rock, a comb, a brush, an ink pen, anything that can bring me bodily harm. Then she is no longer a man, a woman. She is a person. And if you're woman enough to attack a man, then you need to be woman enough to take that beating. And I'm sorry for putting it that way. But most women don't start fights with men. Or at least most of the women that I've met in my lifetime don't go around beating on men for the hell of it. And I'm not going to say it can't happen. Oh, it can happen. You can be the victim of domestic violence even if you're a man against a woman. It can happen. Because most men are too ashamed to report that shit to the police. And secondly, they're too ashamed to admit that they got their ass kicked by a chick. So, I'm going to break it to you really simple. First off, we need to raise our children right. We need to teach our kids that hitting is wrong unless it's in self-defense. We need to teach our children that we need to understand, have some empathy and some sympathy for things and situations that we don't fucking understand. Oh, I'm sorry. That's probably too much like the right damn thing to do. Because this is where things get from me being an asshole to me keeping that shit 1,000. See, if we all teach our children and ourselves that doing the right thing is not just honorable, but it's admirable, and it is the right damn thing to do, the world would be a better place. So you can put that in your pipe and smoke it and understand where I'm coming from, because let me explain this to you. The right thing to do ain't always the easiest. It ain't always the best damn thing to do. Because sometimes people will tell you that a little white lie could save a life. But here's the one thing that every preacher will tell you. What's done in the dark will come into the light. Or better yet, you can run from the truth, but you can never hide from it. You can never deny what's coming. And the truth, no matter how bad it is, no matter how small or how large, the truth always comes out. Always. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 lifetimes, but it always comes out. Somewhere along the line, you might go out with some of your friends and have a little drunken confession time, and your friend might be friends with the person that you don't want nothing to do with, because even though you love that person, you destroyed their lives because you had nothing better to do, or you didn't love yourself enough to do so. So let me put this to you bluntly. The choices that you choose to make are the ones that decide where your life is going to go. If you're going to choose to be with somebody who likes to beat on women, and if women have called you and warned you 1,000 times, don't date that motherfucker. I had a hard time escaping that motherfucker. He beat my ass on a fucking daily basis. Even if you don't believe that person, you might want to take that shit into consideration, because the simple fact is sometimes, just sometimes, their exes might be telling you the fucking truth. You know, I'm gonna keep this shit real. You know, I have an ex. She sent me to court for 2 love songs and 2 text messages. I will not reveal her name. If y'all know me, y'all know who she is. She will always be the love of my life. Even though I'm never going to be the love of hers, I wish her nothing but the best and happiness. And I hope she's loving herself to where she understands where she went wrong, and maybe, just maybe, she'll get her shit together. I'm not banking on my future with her. It ain't going to happen. She legally made that impossible. So, moving forward, let me explain this to you all. No. When a person who dated your ex tells you something, you should probably take that shit into consideration. Or your new love is their ex, is what I was trying to say. And if they tell you this person has a hang up on this or that, and if you can deal with that, hey, that's cool. But if you can't, wouldn't you want a heads up so that you'll know what's going to happen next before it happens? Now, I'm not trying to break nobody's heart. I'm trying to tell you the truth, because if I had a heads up, I wouldn't even let it get that far. Because, let's keep that shit real. Yeah, it ain't super expensive. But let's keep that shit real. I got her 3 of them. You know, the note's still in there. Never got the chance to give them to her. But see, women don't want guys like me. Women don't want honest men. Women don't want men that's going to treat them like the gift that God intended for them to be. Women want those guys who's going around saying, "Understand the palm of my hand, bitch." Or, "Darling, I really hate your guts and you fucking stink. But you still gonna be my bitch. You gonna bend over and take it when I give it to you. And you're gonna take it when you don't want it because I'm the fucking man in the relationship." And what happens? You women pick those guys. Then after you're knocked up and used up, you want to come and find some dumbass like me who still loves you, who will take you back, and will do everything we can to please you, and it still won't be enough because you still want that element of danger because somewhere in your retarded brain cells, you didn't understand the concept of almost being beat the fuck to death. Now, why did I make this video? I'm going to tell you why I made these 2 motherfucking videos, and not just because I pissed somebody off on Facebook. I've lost people to domestic violence. 2 cousins, both females, lost to asshole dudes, which again, they picked. Both lost by gun deaths. So I don't like fucking guns. I don't fucking like drugs. I don't like anything that can upset the balance of right and wrong. And right and wrong will always be a thin line. I walk that gray line because sometimes you gotta do bad to bad people to make sure those motherfuckers don't hurt good people. Now, am I wrong in saying that? Fuck yes. Because it is never okay to do something bad to someone else. However, not to sound like a hypocrite, circumstances change facts. And sometimes, when a bad guy needs to be fucked up, you get a better bad guy to fuck that person up. Because a lot of people ain't as bad as they think they are. And here's my thing. I've never walked around saying I was Billy Badass. But most of the people that I have fought, they don't come back for round 2. They don't come running through my door knocking it down like, yeah, motherfucker, let's go. Want to do this shit? Let's go. Let me see what you got, motherfucker. Nah, they don't do that shit. Because they know I'm going to fuck them up. If I didn't fuck you up severely enough the first time, you better believe when you come back for another round, I'm going to make damn sure that you don't get a third chance. And a lot of people these days are cowards and don't know how to fight. Or more importantly, they don't know how to talk shit out, so they lash out. Women who get into these relationships with these cowards who don't know how to tell you, "Look, darling, I don't really want no babies, so we're going to have protected sex, period. And if you don't trust the girl that you having sex with, you bring your own fucking condoms. And you keep the motherfuckers on you at all times. You don't leave them in the room with her so that she doesn't do something stupid like put a pin through it so that she can be stuck with you for the rest of her life knowing that you don't fucking love her." Because women, you do that. That's why a whole lot of people on this earth are born and why their daddies aren't in their lives. And why did I say that? Because it's the fucking truth. A lot of you people don't understand how you got here. A lot of you people don't understand but need to accept the fact that sometimes one parent makes a choice that the other parent didn't get a say in, and boop, bop, oop, fuck, I'm pregnant, there you are. Now, will that parent tell you the truth? No. Because somehow in society, we kind of force parents to love our children, but not tell them the fucking truth. Now, I say a lot of shit, but I speak the truth. I give you 99.9 most of the time. I don't give you the whole 1,000 except today. Why am I giving you the whole 1,000? Because there are a lot of kids out here whose daddies don't give a flying fuck. Whose daddies get a lot of heat from moms who had the decision to not have babies with these motherfuckers, who have talked with these motherfuckers, who have clearly been told, "Look, I don't want no more fucking kids." And more to be blunt, I don't want no more motherfucking kids with you. And what does the woman do out of spite just to be fucking evil? just a hook, line, and sinker that motherfucker, she gets pregnant any goddamn way. So if you're one of those kids whose daddy didn't want you, it might not exactly be his fault. It might just be your mama's fault because instead of being grown and accepting the fact that the person didn't want them, they decided to make sure that motherfucker's in their lives whether they wanted them or not. That's called being vindictive. Here's the thing. Because I brought up my ex, so I'm going to go ahead and bring her back around. I have accepted that she didn't want me. I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it. I went to court about it, you know. But there's nothing you can do in this world to make somebody fucking love you. Absolutely fucking nothing. You can get them trinkets, you can get down on one knee, and you can beg and pray and cry all damn day. If they don't love you, you can't make them love you. And you have to accept that shit, and you have to move on, because if you don't, you're going to be one miserable son of a bitch. Like me. Moving on by choice is good. Moving on by force instead of course is not. When you're forced to move on, that's when shit is rough. When you choose to move on admirably, with both of y'all coming to the agreement that, okay, it's not working out, I don't love you anymore, let's be honest, let's still be friends, we can contact each other, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's a whole different ball game than what the fuck happened to me. Because relationships are overrated and you can't come see me no more. It's not a fucking real legitimate excuse to fucking cut somebody out your life completely for no apparent reason when they've never treated you dirty. When they've never raised their voice at you. They've done nothing but respect you. They've walked out their house 3 times in one night to do shit for you. Therefore, moving on. You women don't pick guys like me. Y'all look at me and do this. Fuck that nerd. Fuck that comic freak. Fuck that little cosplay bastard. Fuck him. He has nothing going for him. He doesn't have a $13K job. But this non-$13K job, motherfucker, would fucking be at your every beck and call. This non-$13K job, motherfucker, will move heaven and earth to make sure you have what you want as sacrifice of what he has to do for you. But you women don't want those guys. You women want the bullies. You want the 6'6" guy that's slapping you around and non-sexually beating your ass, probably done pistol whip you a couple of times, and then y'all get mad when you grow up and say, damn, you know, I probably should have went with the guy who was willing to die for me. No, I went with the guy that whooped my ass on a fucking daily. I got 6 babies by this motherfucker, and he's never here. He's not working to support the babies. He's working with the chick that he married and their 1 baby versus our 6 babies that he didn't want with me in the first place. Oh, I fall in love with the guy that I used to like before I met this motherfucker. Now he's helping me raise my kids. And I can't give him a baby because my body's worn the fuck out for having 6 kids by some asshole who didn't want nothing to do with me in the first place. Oh, he had a big dick and a good lick, and he left me and married another chick. Well, he treats her great, but he doesn't pay child support. But I'm not going to go and take him to court and get child support because he's struggling with his new wife and their baby because that bitch won't work. Now, how many of you that are pissed off about the video that I posted are living that life? And yet y'all want to judge me for reposting about how women choose these men. It ain't bullshit. Y'all just don't want to look in the mirror and realize what I said was 1,000% the fucking truth. And that's what's wrong with you ladies now. Y'all choose these Billy badasses. And if you don't break the cycle, your child will do it, and then you'll try to give your child the advice, and it'll float right over their head. Boom. And what will happen after that is that their child will do it. And the cycle will continue and continue and continue. And 2099, when the X-Men will probably be real, because we probably will finally have found a way to develop X-Men powers where we can shoot lights out of our hands and eye beams and all this other bullshit. Because you never know what science will subvert by that time, and I'll be dead in ashes, thank God, while all you guys are fighting Terminators and zombie apocalypses and all that other bullshit. Your daughters will continue to choose badass men who treat them like shit. And why do I say that? Because the cycle started way back in the 50s and the 60s and the 30s with women deciding, I want to go with that badass aviator pilot, or that military bad boy, or that one guy who never left the Bronx but whoops everybody's ass, including his chicks. And he's walking around. Hold on, let me do it right. He walking around, his wife beater, you know, he all swole up. What's up, bitch? You don't want to talk to me? What I say? And those are the guys y'all pick. That's right. I said it. Made 2 videos about it. So, if you're pissed off at me now, you're really going to get pissed off because I'm going to have to make a 3rd video to end this saga. But before I do that, I want you to understand, I'm not trying to victim blame anybody. Excuse me. I'm hitting y'all with the whole 1,000. And why am I hitting you with the whole 1,000? Because one person on Facebook posted something on my post that pissed me off. So, here we go.